Hey, what's good, y'all? Welcome on into Social Seeds. Thank you for sharing my live. And let me get these likes up so people can see that we're in here. All right, thank you for sharing the live, Demi. I appreciate it. We are going to do a candid social seeds. We're not going to read on the book today. Limitless thinking and limitless living. I'm going to do a impromptu social seeds. We're going to talk about how no one sees it like you see it. Okay? I hope that you are well, and I hope that you all are happy, safe, and peaceful for those of you coming in. Now, the Social Seeds podcast, for those of you who are new and they're coming in, is a healing podcast. We are currently reading the book Limitless Thinking, Limitless Living, but we are taking a break today from that. The Spirit asked me to share a little bit about my story, but also to get you guys through this storm that we all seem to be going through at this time. We all going through some storms, whether it be in the atmosphere storms or in our lives, okay? And so I'm here to give you some type of encouragement to help you get through these here storms, y'all, okay? Because you're not alone. Even though it may feel like you are currently experiencing these storms alone, know that you are not. Know that no one just sees it like you see it. They're not going to understand it like you understand it. They're not going to comprehend it like you're comprehending it. And you need to understand that you're going through a storm right now to wash away those things in your life that you no longer need. Behaviors, grand rising, that no longer help you in the season that you're in. Okay, so for some of us, with the season that we're in, we've come to realize some things about the way that we handle things, the way that we do things according to the circumstances that we're in. And I feel like a lot of us are realizing that those things that helped us and worked out for us the way that we did in the past will no longer do that in the future. Okay? A lot of us are going through things that we haven't experienced before. And some of us are grand rising, going through some of those things that we have experienced before, but on a very different level. Okay? And the reason why you are experiencing it on this different level is because you're different. And you have to acknowledge that about yourself. You need to acknowledge the fact that you are not the same person you were last month, 6 months ago, or even last year. And so the situations that are coming your way, the circumstances that are presenting themselves, you have to understand that you're going to see them very differently than you did before. You're going to handle them very differently than you did before. And this includes people and situations that you are currently dealing with, okay? You need to allow yourself to understand that no one is going to see it the way you see it. And that is okay. It's not for them to see it how you see it. Regardless if it's a storm or even if it's an achievement that you've made, you need to celebrate yourself, because there are people who will not and don't want to celebrate you, because they don't want you to even realize that they're paying attention to you. Okay? So understand that whatever storm that you're going through right now, it is currently here to wash away those things that no longer serve you. Even though it may seem tough, even though your emotions may be up and down and all around, you have to understand that what you're going through is presenting you with a new way of dealing with things. Dealing with yourself when you're dealing with these things as well. Dealing with your family. Dealing with your job or your business. How are you going to make it work for you? Are you going to sit in the storm and just sit there? Or are you going to dance in the storm? This is why you get the storms. To see if you're going to be like, okay, time out. I can't, I'm just going to sit here and wait until something changes. Or are you going to work and dance through the storm? You're being tested. Your resilience is being tested to see if you need to change things, or if you need to keep staying on this path, or if you need to incorporate some different types of tools for yourself, okay? Now, for me, myself, I'm going through a specific season where I was working towards a certain goal. In the thought process of feeling that once I got done with that specific goal, I would be able to work on some other goals that I've had set aside to work on this specific goal. But I had a realization that I was still working on those other goals while I was working on a specific goal. And even though this specific goal that I have accomplished did not bring in the exact fruit that I thought it would, other fruit was being produced while I was working on a certain specific goal that I was focused on. Now, you can either see it that way, or you can see it as I failed in some type of way. And I really don't feel like I have. But I did learn a lot about myself while I was going towards a specific goal. And a lot of you who follow me on my other channels, you know what that specific goal was. And you know that I accomplished it. But I also now have a goal that has been set in front of me that I myself didn't realize that it was going to be put there. But it is testing my resilience and how much I want something in my life. And you have to understand that when you already have some goals that you've been laying the footwork for, okay? Know that you are still working on those other goals that you have in the background. You may not realize it, but Spirit is going to make you realize that you all were always working on those other goals that Spirit put there for you. I am working on a few of my businesses, as well as a goal from a offer that I received last year. I received the offer last year at this same time, the same time that we're in right now. And my thought process was I would be done with it within the year. And I'm not. But I have gained so much along this journey towards that specific goal. The goal has been postponed. And I want to say it's postponed. It's not a no. It's a not right now. And I now understand why. Because even though I was focused on that one specific goal of getting this offer that was presented to me, Spirit also has me working on myself and some other goals that I had already set before this specific goal came in. Thinking that this other goal would help me move along my way faster, not realizing that Spirit's like, no, but that's the end goal right there. That's the end goal. But while you're working on that end goal, I'm going to help you realize the fruit that you're already bearing on the goals that you have set in place already. And so I'm in a season of hurrying up and waiting, okay? I've been in that season for about a year now. And the patience that I have grown, the tools that I have grown during this time of going towards this offer that was presented to me. I'm realizing that this offer is going nowhere and that it's always going to be there for me to take advantage of. But I thought that I had to hurry up towards that goal. Know when you're in your season to get towards a certain goal, like a big boom goal, that there are going to be obstacles placed in your way, but those obstacles are helping you to use the tools that you already cultivated on your way to this goal. And I know that that may sound like, well, damn, so that means that I'm just working on something and I'm not going to get to that end goal. That's not true. What you have to understand is there are things that we have to build within ourselves, to grow within ourselves in order to be able to achieve that end goal. And it's not even the end goal, because once I even get to that goal, I still got work to do. But I'm being made, I'm being prepared, and to be able to handle that end goal. And so I'm on a mission still, okay, to get towards that goal that God has shown me, that God has promised me. It's my promised land. And I realize that that is what it is. And Spirit was allowing me to see where I was going. But other people aren't going to see it like that. Other people are going to see, well, this person has been working on this for a long time. It's like when you go to college, let's put that in there. You start out as a freshman and you find out, okay, say you want to become a doctor or a lawyer or whatever it is you're going to school for. It's going to take you 8 years or whatever the recommendation is, or what you actually have to finish. You have to understand that as you are working towards that end goal of people being able to call you a doctor or a lawyer, you are building up your repertoire of what you need to know in order to be able to achieve it, but not only to be able to achieve it, but to maintain it. And I know that we feel like, but I've gone through all of this already, so why is it still so much for me to go through or to learn in order to be where I deserve to be? Yes, you do deserve to be there. But when God sets you up with your promised land, God don't want you to lose what God has put in your life. And so you're going to have seasons of ups and downs all around, obstacles and things that will try to deter you from that end goal. But you have to realize that your goal is bigger than your struggle. Whatever that struggle is that you are going through, getting to that goal, it is going to be well worth it. Not only you are going to be blessed by you getting to that end goal, but you're going to be able to bless God's people with what God is going to be allowing you to maintain. It's all about being able to build a strong foundation in something. Even if you feel like you've gotten so far and then you feel like you're having to start all over again or start from the ground up, it's because that foundation needs to be just as strong, unbreakable, unshakable as possible. And it also has to be your faith in God that God can bring you through it. It's 11:33 on my clock right now, and I believe this started at 11:22. No matter what you have to deal with during that season of going towards your goal, thank you guys so much for the gifts. Please don't forget to keep tapping, y'all. It brings more people into the live, okay? No matter what struggles you're going through to get to that goal, remember that your goal is greater than your struggle, okay? Even if it's taken years for you to get to, even if it's taken for you to rethink your plan to get there, know that your goal is greater than your struggle. And people are not going to see it how you see it. But it's not for them to see. Sometimes it's only meant for people to see your end part and see how God blesses you. Also, you're going to learn who or what is meant for you on that road to your goal. There are going to be a lot of vices and a lot of energies that come toward you to make you feel like they're all in with you. They are closer than a friend, closer than God to you, wanting to be able to be there for you, to bless you, to help you, or whatever. You're going to be able to get on a level where you can see those things, and that's what God is doing with preparing you. Not only just preparing you, thank you for becoming a member of my team. Not only just preparing you, like I said, for the role that you're going to be playing, but also so that you can maintain it. Understand what you need to have, whether it be mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. You work on all those things when you're going towards a goal, okay? And you guys know that. A lot of you guys are, like I said, coming in from my other channels that I have here on TikTok. You know, you've been watching my journey. You've been watching the up, downs, and all arounds that I've been going on for the last 5 years, okay? For those of you who've been here since day one. I don't feel like most of you have been. I feel like I have a lot of new followers, which is great. But there are some people who have watched me from the days that I was in the shelter, and doing social seeds and doing podcasts while I was in a shelter, and getting people to come on and talk about their healing journeys, getting people to talk about their traumatic experiences and how they've been working to heal themselves and get on a better path for their life. I am also experiencing those things, but I'm very much transparent to you all so that you can see not only am I going through, but I'm going through realizing that at the end of these storms, I'm going to have a victory. Okay, and that's not the only reason why I do it, but I'm following what God has told me to do. And I need you guys to understand that God has put me in a place where people are following me, but also helping me on my own healing and spiritual journey. This is a two-way street when I get on here. This is not just a one-way. And I feel like a lot of people think that it is. What you have to understand is we all need each other. Every need is supposed to be supplied in some type of way, and you were never supposed to do it alone. While you're going through your different seasons, your different terrains, we talked about that while we were reading Vibrate Higher Daily, you will experience some lows. You will experience some highs and some middle ground where you are just in all of it, you're being prepared for what you asked God for. And again, it's not going to all look good, even to other people. It's going to be like, well, that person's been working on this for I don't know how long. And I know that they're plugging away and they're pushing, but it really seems like they're not getting anywhere. But they don't understand, and no one will see it how you see it. That God is already growing things. It takes time, just like when you put a seed in the ground. It don't just automatically spring up. It depends on what the season is. It depends on that ground. Are you fertilizing that ground? Is the ground have a whole bunch of rocks that's blocking the seed, the roots from getting down? Because remember, the roots have to go down in order for the flower or the crop to grow up. So you have to understand that when you're going through a season of where it seems like you're stagnant and you're constantly plugging away at something, and it seems like you don't see no growth on the outside, those seeds that you planted take time to grow. It takes time to heal. Not only are you growing a seed that Spirit has put in you, but you are also healing yourself. And sometimes it takes time. Sometimes you have to go through a certain season for a while before you get it. when you plant that seed in the ground in the wintertime, knowing that when spring comes, your seed's going to come up, it still takes time. Just like daffodils are one of my favorite flowers, and you can plant them bulbs anytime. But in the springtime is when you see them come up. That's the first flower that I've realized, that and tulips. They come right on up every year in the springtime when that ground unthaws, when you melting away that cold from your heart, when you're melting away those things that no longer serve you. That seed comes up wherever you planted seeds. So make sure that you're planting your seeds where you actually want growth, because it's going to show where you were planting your seeds before, okay? Wherever you plant those seeds is where you're going to have growth. So watch where and who you're fertilizing and where you're planting seeds. It's not going to just come up out of nowhere just because. You got to watch where you're planting. If you planted it with too much ground, things are too hard, and you haven't broken up that ground around that seed so that the roots can expand, you're not going to get something coming up in the future. And you're going to have to get out there and find where you put those daggone seeds, dig them up, and find another spot for them. Okay? You have to realize that not everybody that says that they're on your team is really on your team. And sometimes when you plant seeds with certain people, they may be all happy in the beginning and happy to help you because they see, that you're growing. But when you get in that season of stagnancy, when you get in that season where you're being prepared in that right there in that middle ground, because there's some things you need to learn there, you'll see people fall to the wayside. You'll see some people that will back up off of you because maybe they don't understand what the vision is. Remember, no one is going to see it like you see it because they're not supposed to. But what you are supposed to do is to keep on fertilizing that seed because God told you to. God said, go over here and put a seed over there. Go over here and plant a seed over there. Go back and water that seed over here. No matter how much it takes, you keep watering that seed over here. Don't flood it. Don't flood it. Okay? Because what you're going to do is kill that seed and it's not going to come up. Go back on over this way and add a little sprinkle over here. And then go back over there. Check to see what's going on over there. All right. Are any sprouts of any roots coming out? Do you see it? All right. Because nothing is put in stone. Okay. You can change your mind about where you want to plant your seeds. You can dig that root right on up and plant it somewhere else. Don't ever keep yourself stuck if you're feeling unfulfilled. But watch how you're so quickly to pull a plant or a seed up from where you already put it. Because sometimes we're just not patient enough. And you got to be patient to see something come from your work that you put in. And I know that we don't always want to hear that, but that's how it works. Let God give you the plans. And you know that if God is the one who has made the blueprint, you don't have to keep worrying about the building. You don't have to keep worrying about the building because God made the blueprint, okay? You know that it's perfect. You know that there is no fault in it, okay? You have to understand that there are going to be some things that you might have to back up and maybe put a little bit of extra cement in here because there's a crack here or there's a crack there. You got to keep looking at that foundation until it's built sturdy the way that God is telling you to do it. But don't get discouraged if you got to take a step or two back. There's a reason why you got to take a step or two back because maybe you missed something. Maybe there's still something you need to learn or understand on a deeper level. So moving forward, you don't have to worry about there being a crack there. You don't have to worry about there being someone in a space that you put them, that you plug the seed with, of them trying to pull on out. Or that sand that you thought would be sturdy enough. You need to put something that's concrete there. And that's what God is showing you in that season of where you put your seeds, of where you're plugging your energy. Sometimes we have to realize it's us that is stopping something from moving forward. Something that we have to fix within us because of the way that we're seeing something or someone or a behavior that we have that we need to let go of, that we need to stop doing, that we need to stop pouring into. And I know that sometimes it's very hard for us humans to think that we have a flaw that we need to let go of. But if you're willing and you're humble enough to lean on God in those times when you're like, okay, well what am I doing here? Where am I going from this spot right here? Because I thought that this is what we were doing. And Spirit will tell you, yes, that is what we're doing. But I need you to take a look at something over here that you didn't see. I need you to take a look at something that you overlooked. Something that you keep overlooking. I'm going to keep on bringing it back up here until you figure out that it's you. It's a part of you that you need to work on so that you can move forward. Or you need to let certain behaviors go, certain people go, certain places, certain situations so that you can prosper. I'm trying to tell you, your foundation is going to be so strong. You won't wonder about if something is set for you. You'll know that it is. And that's exactly where God wants you. Your confidence will be on a whole nother level. Your self-esteem on a whole nother level. You got to be big and bold for God, especially when you're asking for God to do big and bold things in your life and to work through you. Okay? You have to understand that there are going to be distractions that try to throw their way into what you're doing. And I'm not saying that you have to constantly be plugging away. You do need to live life. You do need to have fun. You do need to be able to experience different things. And Spirit wants you to bring all of that into a balance. All of that into a balance. And I'm in a season where I'm about to start bringing a lot of things into a balance. I've learned so much over the last 5 years of building my businesses up and knowing where I want to put my energy next is so important to me. I have been plugging away at my spiritual coaching business and knowing that there are other areas of my life that I want to explore and expand into. And Spirit is taking my memory back to, remember when you said you wanted to do this? Do you remember when you said you wanted to do that? Do you remember when you were younger and you said this is where you wanted your path to go? And I'm being presented with those options. They're coming up. People reaching out to me, wanting to work with me on certain things that I had let go of in the past that I said that that's a goal of mine. That's a goal of mine. Spirit is blessing me with the option to stop for a second on doing what I've been plugging away at to allow me to run after and chase after some of those goals that are getting ready, that are chasing me down. It's about being well-rounded and being grounded and living a full life. And that's exactly what I plan to do these next 50 years of my life. I definitely plan to live to be 115, 20, I don't know. Okay? I'm only 50 years old now, but I got a lot of life left in me. A lot. And there are things that I still want to do. I remember when my children were younger and we were living in Pennsylvania. We were living in a nice home. And I was able to plant my own gardens and things of that nature. I still want to get back to doing that, and I will, probably on a bigger scale. I plan to own a farm. But I also, I wanted to go on America's Got Talent. And I had gotten my ticket and everything to go. And one of my children got in trouble in school. And when I look back at it, I really feel like it was on purpose, because I was going to be spending a few days away from my kids to go out to California, because I was in Pennsylvania, to get on America's Got Talent and sing. And one of my kids got in trouble in school, and the only way that I would be able to go is because someone that I was living with worked during the day, and they would have been home in the evening with the kids. Well, I couldn't do it because I would have had no one to be home with this one child of mine to be able to go on this trip. And when I say that it was on purpose, it was just the devil trying to see if I was still going to go around that goal. Was I going to let it go? And I did. I let it go. I never talked about it after that. I never even once tried to see where they were having their next auditions or any of that. So I did. I let it go. But the ability to be able to sing is still within me. And it's always been a goal of mine, even if it didn't really go anywhere, to be able to audition on America's Got Talent. And so over the next few months, I'm going to be practicing a lot with my voice. I am going to be, wherever I am, I'm not going to let that stop me. I am going to really start training myself to sing what I want to sing, when I want to sing it, and to find out where the spring auditions are, or if they have any this winter, to go. And it's being presented to me again. I'm getting more people who are musicians that come into my lives. I got to do a reading for Macy Gray, which blew my mind, her coming into my live and asking me for reading. And to me, that was just Spirit saying, you're doing more than you think you're doing, Stacey. And you need to see yourself how other people are seeing you. And I do for the most part, but not as much as I feel like Spirit is putting in my face. The offer that I received for my business, my big goal, that's what I've been plugging away at, and I'm excited about it. And I realize that that is a door that is not going to close because God opened that door. Thank you so much for the gifts. I've realized that that ain't going anywhere. And I need to also focus on those other things in my life that I want to bring into fruition for me. I do not want to get to a certain stage or age in my life and look back and say, I wish I would have went for it when I had the chance. I have the chances being presented to me again. People now starting to ask me to come on their podcast. People asking me to make guest appearances. Okay? Y'all know that I share a lot with y'all. I'm very transparent because my job for God, my mission for God is to be able to show other people you can live the life that you want to live, but you got to get yourself outside of the box that people have placed you in. Not just people that you grew up with, but society as a whole has told us that you got to make your money, you got to make your living by busting your ass for other people. Ooh, yes, I do curse on here. Okay, so if you don't like that, you might want to scroll on. And yes, I talk about God from the same mouth. Okay, because I'm real. Most of us say a cuss word or two. I just happen to say it a little bit more every now and then. Okay, but I'm me. And yes, I still know God for who God is. All right. But what you have to understand is I know that that is part of my mission here on this spinning planet in the middle of the fucking universe. my soul's purpose, or part of it, is to show people that not only can you live outside of that box that people placed you in, you can get outside of it, stand outside of it, and decorate it the way you want it to. You got to direct it with God. All you got to do is have that co-creating spirit with God. God will give you the desires of your heart as long as you are focused on God. Thank you for becoming a member of my team. I don't take it for granted that God has chosen me to be that light in this crazy world for people. I do not take it for granted. I am beyond grateful that God saw fit to choose me. So who am I to hide my ups, my downs, my ins, my outs, when God says, I want to use you because I asked you to. And all those songs that I was singing in the church choir when I was younger, I kept asking God to use me. And God was like, all right, well, you're going to have to go through some things in order for me to use you so that you can experience the things that I want you to help other people out of. Help other people see it from a different light. I didn't know that's what was happening in my life at the time. When I was going through ups and downs in different relationships, and I'm not just talking about romantic relationships, I'm talking about family relationships, children relationships. When I was going through those back and forth of those waves, those high waves, those low, no water around type situations, or everything was water all around you, but it was salt water. I remember going through those things and how God was there every step of the way, because I would not be here today, I tell you, if it was not for the God in my life and that lives inside of me. I'm telling you, just when you think nothing is going to go the way that you expect it to, God shows up and shows out for you. But you got to remember to lean and depend only on God, because God is the only thing that will not let you down. You cannot allow your circumstances or what you're going through at the moment to deter you from those goals and those dreams that you set your sights on. There's a reason why you get those visions. There's a reason why you can't stop thinking about doing this. There's a reason why you can't stop thinking about doing that. There's a reason why you got that idea. There is no coincidence in this world. God has set everything up on its specific time frame. So don't you think that you're too late. You're right on time for the work that God wants to do in you. You're right on time. It is your season when it becomes your season. When God says, okay, and gives you that nod, and you feel it, you see it happening in your life, that God is setting you up to have exactly what you asked for, just better, I'm trying to tell you, it comes in better. It comes in so much better. But no one else is going to see it how you see it. And you need to be okay with that. You need to be okay with people feeling like they know you, or they know how your life is going to turn out, or they know that you're not going to change, or they know that you're always going to be stuck back here and doing that and doing this and doing that. You need to be okay with how people see you. Who gives a damn? Them people ain't the one that's going to bless you to be where God is about to stand you. And those same people that make you feel some type of way about what you're doing, thinking that there aren't things that's working out for you, let them keep thinking that. Let them keep thinking that. Confirmation with the bird in the background. You might got some chickens squawking in the background. Let them talk. Let them chickens talk. Huh? Let them people say exactly what they want to say. Let them believe what they're going to believe. You believe in God and the blessings that God has told you that you're going to receive. Because God will show you it. God will show you it and be like, okay, Now, here's the next steps. This is what you may have to go through. This is what you're going to go through. And some things are going to come out of nowhere that you're not expecting. You're going to be like, oh, this is throwing me off. I just experienced that. I gave myself a few days, and I'm still experiencing it. I gave myself a few days to be like, okay, this shit sucks. Because I thought this, and this. God's like, it's still going to be this, and this. But I need you to also remember those goals and those dreams that you had before you get to this end goal, because I'm trying to bless you with this before you get to that end goal. I want you to be getting what you want to get. You've already asked for it. You're ready for that goal back there that you had already set. You had to start going towards this end goal here, and it helped you build yourself and get yourself ready for those other goals that you already put in place. Do you remember those goals? Do you just want to let them go? I'm presenting you with opportunities to meet those other goals back there that you already put in place. I've girded you up. You're now ready for those past goals. So I understand you want the end goal, and you're going to still get it. It's all yours. That door is not going to shut. But I want you to be fulfilled. I want you to be fulfilled. I don't want you to have the woulda, coulda, shouldas. I want you to be fulfilled. And so now that you're ready for those goals that were back there, let's go back there to visit those goals. Let's go back there. You're ready. You're going to get to that end goal, but there's still some things here that I need you to work on. And while you're still working on those, let me give you these opportunities so you can see that you can still do those things that you wanted to do before. Look at it from that point of view. Don't look at it as, damn, well, I thought we was headed this way. We still headed that way. It's just like when you on that long-ass road trip and you've been trying to wait because you want to get to wherever you're going, and you're just so tired. I need to rest, you say. I need to get out and stretch my legs. And that's where God is doing for me right now. Thank you so much for becoming a member of my team. That's what God is doing for me right now. And that's how I'm looking at it. I'm not trying to be in a space, because I was for a few days. I was like, what the fuck? This is crazy shit. Because I thought this was this. And God's like, it's still that. You're still going to get that. But I want you to wait a minute. I want you to see that you're ready for this. Do you remember this? Let's do this. And let's keep traveling towards that. Okay? So I don't know how many of you guys are feeling this, but I want you to know that you're not alone. And there are going to be people who don't see it how you see it. And that's okay. They don't need to. They're not supposed to. It's not their vision. It's not their goals. They don't know what goals you had set back there. When I first started going to college, I was 30 years old. I was a freshman. And let me tell you why I had to go back. I was a social worker. I had been doing social work for years. And then I got a social work job I had worked at for 2 years. And they were like, Miss Stacy, they changed the rules. And you need to have your bachelor's degree, or at least be on your road to your bachelor's degree, to continue to do social work for what you're doing. Now, I had been doing this job for a few years, and they was making me go to college. My youngest was 6 months. And the other 3 was stair steps. But what did I do? Just like I'm rolling up my sleeves right now. And I did it. I went back to school and was working full time at that same job. Went back to school full time. Okay? If I didn't have my mother during that time, I don't know what I wouldn't have done. Okay? And so, but when I started school, the reason why I'm telling you this, when I started school, I wanted to go into pre-med. And so I did. I wasn't going for social work. I was doing social work as a minor. But my kids were so young, and I had so much to do with them, trying to pay attention to them and work a full-time job. I didn't have the time to study for pre-med. A&P kicked my motherfucking ass. Do you hear me? Okay? And for those of you who don't know, okay, anatomy and physiology, that shit ain't no joke. And all the terms they expect you to learn in that short amount of motherfucking time to take those exams, I wasn't able to do it with 4 small children as a single mother. Okay, my youngest being 6 months old. Okay? That shit was kicking my ass. So within that first semester, I dropped it and went into social work like I was supposed to. And I have been the best motherfucking social worker for a lot of people out here. Even before they made me go back to school for something that I was already doing that I didn't need a degree in. Okay? It was some type of law that they passed saying that you had to have a bachelor's in social work in order to do what I was doing. They was just doing that because they wanted money. Okay? It is what it is. But now, I don't have little small children to look after. But even though God has directed me into more holistic practice, I'm thinking about going back to school for that. It's been on my heart to go back to school. And I'm about to look into a few. I've already looked into a few. Because I'm going to do what my first thought was. To help people heal naturally. Instead of with all this drugs and shit that they done came up with that just mask the symptoms. It don't heal us. The earth has given us everything that we need to heal. And we need to be able to understand that and teach our children that. So that these generations aren't continuously getting all these diseases that they think they can't cure. And because I've already been a social worker, I'll be able to be on a better level with my patients that I do see. Because I'll understand their trauma causing some of their ailments. People they don't talk about that in doctor's visits. They giving you 15 minutes. Now, what's wrong with you? And they looking at their watch. Okay? Writing down notes. They're not getting to the underlying situation of what is going on with you. A lot of people's health ailments are given to them because of the trauma that's unhealed and it's trapped in their bodies. And so I'm on a road where God has led me to heal myself naturally with things from the earth, herbs, meditation, crystals, all kinds of stuff that I'm going to put into a practice that I'm going to open up. It's going to be a part of what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going back because God said I'm ready now to understand it on a whole another level that some people ain't doing out here. And yeah, it may sound like, well, people aren't doing that. That's exactly why I'm going to do it. Because people aren't doing that. It's time to think outside that motherfucking box. That you got to go to school for pre-med and it be all about big pharma and all their damn machines and stuff that they want to put in you and on you to cure you, which ain't even curing you, is covering up the motherfucking symptoms. I want to heal people for real. Okay? And I have a team that God is bringing to me. These people are on the same path. They all just got different jobs in it. It's coming together slowly so it can be built with a firm foundation. Confirmation with that beep over there. So y'all watch out for me over the next, 5-6 years. Things is really going to be taking a very big turn. You're going to see it not just in the world, but within yourself and within me. Y'all keep holding on to those same dreams and goals you had back then. Because just because it ain't coming into fruition when you expected it to, that just means that you needed the growth and the experience in order to be able to hold on to what God is about to do from you, from them goals and dreams that you talked about back then. Music, singing, art, all of that stuff helps with healing the body, the mind, the spirit. Yeah, I might sound a little Pisces and dreamy, because I am. But I tell you, some of the most intelligent and most important people that have brushed this earth are Pisces people. Have made such big changes in the world. You think I'm lying? Check it out. Check it out. All right, y'all. I hope that this gave you a little bit of elevation from those storms that you're going through right now. I hope that this gave you a insight on not letting go of those goals and those dreams that you had back then. Okay? Don't ever give up on yourself. 12:10 on my clock. Don't ever give up on yourself. Don't ever give up on your hopes, your dreams. Keep them back here. Try different things in order to grow your gifts, your talents, the tools, okay? Don't ever stop thinking, yeah, I'm not going to do pre-med. I'm going to do a whole different route with that. They have classes for it now. And you can get a PhD or an MD in it, okay? So if you're still someone who's wanting to help people heal on a seriously natural level, look into it. God has a space for you. And it don't have to be a doctor, okay? God has a space for you. God is trying to get us to use the things that God put on this earth from the get-go for us to help each other, to heal, to come together to learn more about. Different continents on this planet have different plants for a reason. Go find out for yourself about the things that can heal you. You may not be here on this continent, on North America. It might be over there in Africa. It might be in Australia. You don't know where it's at. That's why they always trying to keep us censored over here. They don't want us mixing and mingling with each other, especially not on here. That's why they keep threatening to take it away and shit. Because we learn in different ways of cooking, different ways of eating, different ways of healing, different languages so we can speak to each other. There's a guy on here that has an Arabic class that I be going into. It's 12:12 on my clock right now. That I be going into. There's a guy that does Spanish, even though it's mostly cuss words. I like it, okay? I go right on in there. As soon as I see some Chinese, as soon as I see a language, I'm like, oh, I'm going in this live. Even if I can only say one or two words and spell it once or twice, I'm going to keep going back until I learn more, okay? Don't ever stop. Don't ever stop learning. Don't ever stop achieving. Don't ever stop progressing. Don't ever stop. I hope that you all have a good rest of your day. I'm getting ready to go on into the Pisces portal. For those of you who follow me, know that I do spiritual energy readings. I do a spiritual coaching. I have 2 other channels on here that I do that in. You can follow me on the Pisces portal here. You could also follow me on the Awakened Empress 33 here. I do believe the links are in the bio in my link tree. So make sure that you guys go look in my link tree, okay? Yeah, I like the sign language classes as well. I hope that you all have a good one. I hope that you all, I'm glad that you needed to hear this. I'm glad that it helped. Thank you so much for the follows, y'all. I appreciate y'all. I know that I haven't been on Wednesdays. I've been trying to get to the goal, okay? But we're going to start again this Wednesday. I'm going to be back. We're going to get back into this book, Limitless Thinking, Limitless Living. And this is all a part of what I was just talking about. I don't care what age you are. God's not, if you still here, God got a plan for you. God got a plan for you. If you are an empty nester recently, all your kids are gone out the house, it's time for you to focus on you. Even before that, it's time for you to focus on the plan that God gave you, the vision that God put in your head when you were little. God said, this is what you're going to be. And you heard it and you believed it when you were little. So what about now? Where's that inner child at? Limitless thinking, limitless living. Okay? We all about that over here. I love y'all. All right? I hope that you guys have a good rest of. Thank you so much for subscribing. Hey, mommy. I appreciate you. I hope that you guys have a good rest of your day. And we'll talk soon. Bye.